What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow, and what you're going to start seeing now is a new series of videos that I think are going to be helpful to a lot of people out there, and this is exposing Cardano. Now, typically, if you hear exposing, you think it's going to be something bad. It's not bad at all. It's just exposing you to a lot of the different variables to Cardano, what can be done, what's being used to get it done, and more. And hopefully you'll find this educational, informative, and really help you understand why I've been such a Cardano bull since 2017, and why primarily the majority of my content is related to Cardano in one way, shape, or form. So this is basically about programming languages for Cardano, and this is not the grand list because there are others. There's a lot of different functionality associated with Cardano. However, I'm going over the primary ones, like the meat of it all. Now, the first one we're going to look at, for obvious reasons, is Haskell. And, Haskell is a program. Now, I am not a programmer, so I want to make sure that's abundantly clear. I'm not a programmer. I've always wanted to be, but I just don't have the mind for it. I think I'm a little too creative, a little too emotional to sit there and punch in millions of brackets, .. just gibberish into a bunch of lines and not my bag. It's just not. Now, what the funny thing is that there are some things that I'm going to show that ultimately are kind of like a WYSIWYG code editor that they've been developing to help people like me create applications for Cardano without having to know all these different programming languages. But we're going to start with Haskell, an advanced, purely functional programming language. Now, there have been a lot of questions. A lot of people have asked Charles Hoskinson, founder of Cardano, or IOHK, or CEO, like whatever. He does all kinds of stuff. But why Haskell? And there are a lot of reasons for this. And the more I dive into what Haskell is, the more I realize why Haskell, because I'm struggling today. It's about 12:48 my Eastern time, my time. So first I'm going to go over some of the overview. Why Haskell is our first choice for building production software systems. Okay, now this isn't related to Cardano at all, but it's going to break down some of the key things that are associated with Haskell and why I think Cardano chose it. Haskell has a strong static type system that prevents errors and reduces cognitive load. Haskell enables writing code that is composable, testable, and has predictable side effects. Haskell facilitates rapid development, worry-free refactoring, and excellent maintainability. Haskell programs have stellar performance, leading to faster applications and lower hardware costs. All very key things when you're talking about, look at the difference between PHP and Haskell. Total monthly cost of maintaining this PHP system, $244. Haskell, $15. Haskell is great for domain modeling and preventing errors in domain logic. And you can find all these articles that break things down in detail. Haskell has a large number of mature, high-quality libraries. I haven't gotten halfway through my coffee yet. Yes, this is a Powerade bottle, but people say, don't drink so much coffee, Crow. It's like instant coffee. It's like a little instant coffee with creamer. I mean, it's really not that much. It's more like just to drink something hot and yummy in the morning. It's not even really as much about the coffee. Haskell makes it easy to write concurrent programs. One feature, I'm going to read some of this. One feature of being a pure functional language is that by default, values in Haskell are immutable. This is not to say that values never change, but state is not changed in place. That was confusing for a minute. For example, when a function appends an element to a list, a new list is returned and the memory used by the old list will be freed by the garbage collector. A benefit of such immutability is that it simplifies concurrent programming. That's pretty sweet. Haskell enables domain-specific languages which foster expressiveness and reduce boilerplate. Haskell has a large community filled with smart and friendly people. Conclusion: there are many reasons for why Haskell is our first choice of programming language for building production software systems. So that's basically like a very, very brief rundown of some of them. The thing of it is a lot of people who were complaining early on about why Cardano chose Haskell, and because they were saying, you know, there aren't that many Haskell developers. Why would you go against the grain? Why not use something like C or some of the, just all of the other programming languages out there that already have a wide developer base? And I think a lot of the answers are right here. If I have to edit out these yawns, it's going to take me 4 days. But yeah, I mean, the answers are pretty clear. I mean, for one thing, it's one of the most secure programming languages out there, which when you're talking about trying to build a global blockchain technology, you want it to be the most secure thing you can create. So utilizing something like Haskell is a big deal. So, and on top of that, Cardano didn't just bring on a Haskell developer to help with this. They brought on the creator of Haskell. So that was a pretty cool thing. I mean, when you talk, a lot of guys, they just hire like, the top hat certified of this, certified in that. No, they came up with, they just said, we're going to get the main guy. We're going to get the creator of this. There's a lot of resources and things if you're interested in learning development in Haskell, so I can encourage you to check it out. I was going through some of the syntax or whatever, and I'm like, this is mind-numbing. I'm not going to lie, this is mind-numbing. So, second programming language, and one that, might surprise some people. Most of you already understand and know, but Solidity. This is Ethereum's programming language. So when you're talking about Solidity and you're talking about programming in Cardano, you're thinking, well, how would that interoperability is a very key thing. And there's a lot of functionality associated with Cardano that's going to empower people to develop things on other languages, but ultimately migrate them into the Cardano blockchain. Solidity obviously being one of them. Solidity is a statically typed, curly braced programming language designed for developing smart contracts that run on Ethereum, and in effect, Cardano. And the thing of it is, too, is you're not going to be able to take Cardano applications and migrate them over to Ethereum. No, that's not how this is going to work. But you are going to be able to migrate Ethereum applications written in Solidity and migrate them over to Cardano. Which is one of the reasons why I expect to see a very, very substantial mass exodus from Ethereum over to Cardano once Cardano has launched all of the smart contract protocols here. Testnet's going in like April, maybe early May. And once that goes mainnet, it's going to be crazy. But at least when it goes to testnet, all of these developers that are developing their applications on Haskell, Solidity, and the others I'm going to discuss here, we're going to see so much growth, and I just can't wait to see it because it's going to be pivotal in this market for Cardano. I truly believe so. But a lot of you guys already know about Solidity. Now, Marlowe is a new programming language for modeling financial instruments as smart contracts on a blockchain. It has been designed for people who are business engineers or subject experts rather than experienced developers. So Marlowe is basically something for someone like me, someone like you, perhaps somebody who, maybe your market, your industry, exactly what you want to do in the financial space, but you're not a hardcore programmer. You're not somebody sitting there punching in brackets for 15 hours a day, sipping Jolt Cola, okay? It is a simple domain-specific language, DSL, which comprises a small number of powerful building blocks that can be assembled into expressive financial contracts. It is embedded in the Haskell language, which has its own established ecosystem and testing framework. You do not need programming expertise to use Marlowe, and you can explore your Marlowe financial constructions with a browser-based contract editor and simulator. Marlowe interacts with real-world data and enables the expression of smart contracts. It is aimed at fixed-duration financial products such as hedging, fixed-term deposits, credit swaps, and crowdfunding. Marlowe is ideal for financial startups, analysts, or those in fintech community in the fintech community, as well as universities who could use it for testing within their financial courses. With Marlowe, you can write smart contracts for financial instruments that are easy to read, write, and understand without programming expertise. And with that, you have Marlowe Playground. Marlowe Playground, think of this, start a new project. Think of this as kind of like a WYSIWYG development model for Cardano, which is going to be huge. And I think a lot more people are going to be playing with this more and more often. Now, I suggest you check it out, play with it. There are plenty of tutorials. There's stuff all over the internet already to help teach you how to use Marlowe. So I suggest you check it out. Now, Plutus is, in a nutshell, let's say I created a programming, or let's say I created a program or an application that was not on the blockchain. I didn't create it using blockchain specific coding or what have you, but I want some of the program to work on a centralized server or like a cloud perhaps, or something like that. But I wanted to communicate with the blockchain, and I wanted maybe transactions or game data or whatever to basically be stored and utilized on a blockchain. Plutus is like the bridge. Okay, it's basically like a bridge from point A to point B, and it brings the two together into one cohesive unit. And that's ultimately what Plutus is. The Plutus platform is the smart contract platform for Cardano. Plutus contracts consist of parts that run on the blockchain, on-chain code, and parts that run on a user's machine, off-chain or client code. Plutus draws from modern language research to provide a safe, full-stack programming environment based on Haskell, the leading functional programming language. Both the on-chain and off-chain code is written in Haskell, and Plutus smart contracts are Haskell programs. Off-chain code is compiled by GHC, the Haskell compiler, and on-chain code is compiled by the Plutus compiler. To write a smart contract using the Plutus platform, you can code directly in the Plutus Playground, a lightweight, web-based environment for exploratory Plutus development. Here, you learn about how to develop using Plutus and easily write and simulate deployment of your contracts without the overhead of installing and maintaining a full development environment. That is sick. I mean, that's super cool. Plutus Playground, it basically, it's like a simulation. It just enables you to do all this different stuff, compile the code, you can simulate applications, all that. There's a lot of resources and tools. Okay, now finally on my list here is Glow. Glow is a new domain-specific language for developing decentralized applications on the blockchain. With Glow, you can write secure dApps and be assured that your smart contracts can run safely in an adversarial environment. Glow is the brainchild of Mukin, a valued community partner within the Cardano ecosystem. Glow is a language to develop not just a smart contract, but an entire dApp itself, which also includes client code and formal proofs. It is backed by formal methods that are intrinsically built into the language and its actual implementation. It is this inherent correctness of the language that means the code will perform as expected and the dApp will behave as users want. So users do not have their transactions blocked or their assets locked. And then there's a little more to it. So I mean, primarily this is the meat of the current programming languages available to start developing on Cardano. And if you've ever had any, here's the thing, one of my biggest things in life, and I don't know if it's so much a regret anymore because we all kind of have our things, right? But I'm telling you now, I don't care how old you are, if you have the aptitude for developing, for learning a programming language and being able to create, now is definitely the time for you to get started. If you've dabbled in things before, but you've brushed it off, and maybe you're working a job that's just not fulfilling, you're not doing very well, you're not making enough money, whatever the challenges are, I highly, highly encourage you to start diving into one or all of these different programming environments and start learning to develop on Cardano. Because quite frankly, there is so much opportunity on the Cardano blockchain space right now, and you still have months. You still have 4 or 5 months that, like, if you have a running understanding of one of these languages, and maybe you just need to brush up and polish off and then start creating an application that would benefit the world, now is your perfect opportunity to get started in doing that. I personally wish I could, but honestly, I've forgotten more about the world around me than most people have learned at my age, to be quite frank with you. I just don't work that well anymore. I'm exaggerating a bit, but the idea of me learning a new programming language today just makes my skin crawl, even though I have books. Well, that's actually ciphers and codes. Well, I even bought Python for kids just because I thought maybe this will be fun. And I got into page 3 and I thought I've just got too much other stuff to be doing. But if you, on the other hand, have the ability to learn a programming language, I would definitely implore you to get busy, get active, and start putting your ideas down on paper and find out which one could change your life forever on the Cardano blockchain. So until then, until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Crow your coins, and I'll be back with more exposing Cardano tomorrow. Thank you.